How do I start this one? Okay, records. Final Wednesdays, and today I have this one. John Cage meets Sun Ra, completely out the box. Let's talk about it. If you're into digging, if you're into sampling, most likely you know Sun Ra. You've been chopping Sun Ra. One of Madlib's favorites. So if you're down into the lo-fi world, you know Madlib. You probably heard he's a huge fan of Sun Ra. I'm a huge fan of Sun Ra. Sun Ra has been sampled over and over by countless artists. It's an incredible artist. In case you don't know him, American composer, jazz composer. He's a pianist, and he kind of like in this avant-garde experimental sort of not sort of jazz. So he's into the experimental side of things, spiritual jazz. That's the realm of Sun Ra.
If you find earth boring,
everything you desire upon this planet and never have received will be yours in outer space.
Yeah, one of the great things about Sun Ra is just how much inventive and creative he is in all of his music, and the orchestra, the people that played with him. It's just so random sometimes. It's just so natural that you know it's sometimes really hard to listen to, sometimes really good to listen to, but always great for sampling because it's not that sort of jazz that's like really in the box. This is just out there, so you always get like fun little noises and fun little compositions and that you can take part of sampling. Yeah, Sun Ra, huge, right? John Cage, you might not know.
When I hear what we call music, it seems to me that someone is talking, and talking about his feelings or about his ideas of relationships. But when I hear traffic, the sound of traffic here on 6th Avenue, for instance, I don't have the feeling that anyone is talking. I have the feeling that sound is acting. And I love the activity of sound.
So John Cage, he's also a composer, but I think he wasn't really down with the composers at the time, and he kind of drew his own path. So he's like a pioneer in his area. He's an avant-garde artist. If you know Musique Concrète, he's one of the characters that takes part in that world of just composition, of found sound, and just experimental music. He's a name that I know because I studied him. I went to LCC in London, studied sound arts, and he was on almost all the conversations that would take part when it comes down to experimental arts, sound arts. So yeah, he's a huge name when you get down to this little world of musique concrète, just sound arts in general. In this particular record, John Cage is just uttering sounds from his mouth, so he's just creating voice sounds. So not something I'm interested in sampling or anything, but there are other records from John Cage which are really cool, because sometimes what he does is just he prepares piano sometimes, or sometimes he just comes up with weird little sounds. And they're great for sampling, for creating textures, for creating percussion sounds. So it's great to sample, really. I would look out for stuff from John Cage to sample. But it wasn't the case in this record. It was more, Sun Ra has more like fun stuff in this record to sample. And that's what I did. And I really love stuff like this to sample. It's not the sort of stuff that has a progression or anything. You're just picking out little sounds here and there. It just reminds me of stuff that Primo did, J Premier did a lot on records from Jeru the Damager and other groups, the group Home as well. There are some beats in there. There's just like little sounds. DJ Premier would do this a lot. So that sort of stuff, that sort of beat making, that sort of sampling is really fun to do. And that's what I was looking for with this type of record. But I didn't get it to sample. Really, I got it because I want it in the collection. It means a lot to have this in the collection. I need to get more stuff from John Cage, actually. That is it. So yeah, Sun Ra, I took some bits from his playing. It's a weird record. It's just weird stuff. And you're probably going to find this super weird, and you're going to find me super weird. And hi, nice to meet you. In case you didn't know. But yeah, I was just looking for that sort of chops here, just taking little bits from here and there, and then just dropping them on top of a beat, because once you get a good drum loop going, and all you need is to find interesting little sounds and just drop them on top. And a lot of people sample this way. There's a lot of, I think this is probably like a subgenre of a subgenre somewhere. But this sort of like sounds are really fun to play with. Anyway, that's it. John Cage meets Sun Ra, and I made a beat, of course. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hey, do subscribe. Come on, guys. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Like button, and I'll see you again for another Vinyl Wednesdays, one of these coming Wednesdays, all right? Have a great new year as well. Here we go for 2023. Wishing everyone all the best. Thank you so much for your support. If you want this sort of drum loops, this one's actually on Patreon, on my Patreon. These sort of samples, go to Patreon. If you guys want samples, fresh samples, just finished cutting and, using the Rhodes as well, it's all on Patreon, all right? Thank you so much, and peace. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.